Hello everyone, it's Dimitri, Immigration Mentor, and in this video I want to talk about why some Ukrainian people who fled the war are actually coming back to Ukraine even though the war is still going on. So stay till the end. Since the war began, millions of Ukrainians kind of fled the country because of the danger. And that was extreme panic, and of course it's really scary because it's a war, of course. And many countries around Europe and even far kind of opened their gates for Ukrainians to come and settle. Some countries even gave 2 years visas and stuff like this. Some countries like Poland opened the borders and had really good management of Ukrainian people who kind of fleeing the war. Of course, New Zealand as well. Some people came here as well. So the war is still continuing. Like it is like 2-3 months, the war is still continuing. And we see a trend of plenty of Ukrainians are coming back to Ukraine, but the war isn't over yet. So what actually changed? Why some of these people who fled Ukraine and went to other countries, they are coming back? What happened? The war is still not over. What has changed? So I'll tell you what's been happening. So think about it. A lot of Ukrainians didn't really expect to move out of Ukraine ever in their life. Or a lot of Ukrainians even never been overseas. They don't know the languages, they don't know how to make a living there, how to make money, or how to socialize. They don't have the support of their families, their friends, you know? So coming to a new country in a complete panic, a lot of the times they kind of took just basic stuff, and yes, regards immigration, they received the visas and they're allowed to stay there, work there, whatever. But again, like as I was saying, that immigration, the visas is like a very small part of the immigration itself, but the settlement, being a part of the country and being a successful immigrant that builds really good life, it's a completely different story. And this is what I'm trying to teach people and prepare for, that they will build really good lives overseas. Yeah, so these people have their visas, have their working rights, even in some places have like reduced price accommodation, or they have like free accommodation for a certain time, a lot of help with language and support, you know, all the things that regard settlement in a new country. But still, think about it. It's hard. Immigration is difficult, especially when it's your first time and you kind of didn't plan to do it, and you don't have passion for immigration. For example, like me, like I'm immigrating all the time and I'm kind of, this is my second nature. But people who kind of used to live in one place for 20, 30, 40 years, they move into a new country. Let's say if it's like Denmark, it's like a way better terms of living, let's say in Ukraine, statistically, yes. It's still hard because they don't know the language, you know. It's a new place for them. Houses are very, very expensive if they want to live in a permanent house. What are they going to do for their occupation? How are they going to make money? They don't have any connections, any support, any things that they know. And of course, they don't know the basic language even to make these connections, you know? Think how hard it is. Also, some people had their parents, elderly parents with them, that for them, a lot of times even way harder also to move somewhere, you know? These people spent 1 month, 2 months, 3 months in the other country, and they weighted their pros and cons of staying, which also like being in a different culture, like you not culturally feel connected, like you feel foreign You feel it's not your place, it's not your motherland, you know? All these things affect mental health. Also, some people, they have some savings and it costs them a lot of money, all this move, you know? So all these things kind of, people wait a second, what will be better? Should I stay there, or maybe I risk coming back? And also what happened from the north, and Kiev became kind of less attacked, and the Russian forces kind of more focusing on the south and east side and less on central and west. So people acknowledged that and said, well, probably we take the risk coming back. And because we see Kiev is not destroyed yet completely, we'll come back. A lot of people had their own kind of still responsibilities. They paid for their rented apartments, also their businesses there, the way making money is there, their friends is there, their own language, they can speak their own language also is there, you know? They're familiar with the place, they're familiar with the rules. So they see that this place, well, it's not under rocket attacks daily, so it's better for me to come back, to take the risk of coming back, than live in a country that actually gave me the visas, gave me the opportunity to be a part of this country for long term, if I really wanted to invest the time and the resource and the money to get assimilated. But I choose to not assimilate, not to do immigration, not to go through all this emotional process, and actually come back to a place that I'm familiar with, even though I know that this place is under high risk of war. Another thing I want to mention, most of these people who kind of moved, there were women. So their men stayed in Ukraine because they couldn't leave. But most of these people, there are women that actually moved out. So it doesn't mean that women can't immigrate by herself, but usually in the Ukrainian women, they have a lot of kind of dependency on their men. So they wanted to come back to their partners. So what we can learn from that immigration is not an easy process. For example, if I will be kind of in Ukraine and I never had the opportunity to immigrate, and now I have the doors open for almost every country in the world, and I could move, it will be like great, amazing opportunity for me to grow and develop my skills and assimilate in another country, get another passport, to have like safety long term. But for men in Ukraine, this opportunity is not really available for them because of the martial law. But let's say if there wasn't martial law, it could be like a great opportunity. Yeah, so what we learned from that it's migration is not easy. It's not easy in general, but you need to have specific mindset and right guidance and support to make it a successful move and successful immigration. And what I can do is to give you that support, that you won't come back because you didn't have choice, but you will, if you are coming back, it's because you have really good reasons to come back to a place where you're risking your life and a place in the war.